Well, hello, and welcome to GTC 108, Technical Mathematics 2. So, in Technical Mathematics 1, which is where I'm assuming you're coming from, or you got permission from your instructor, but either way, just so you can know what is expected from you before coming in here, you have learned how to add, subtract, multiply, and divide rational numbers. Rational numbers would be numbers that can be written as fractions, so that would be fractions or decimals. Would be integers, so negative and positive whole numbers as well. And you have also learned how to take percentages and do problems in regards to percents. You've set up equations with proportions and with those percentage problems as well. And you've also learned how to convert from one unit of measurement to another. All of these things will be very important in what you're about to partake in. Technical Mathematics 2. So Technical Mathematics 2 is broken up into three things. The first is algebra in the linear sense, meaning we're solving for x and or an unknown, one unknown variable. And generally that's raised to the power of 1. But there are times where it's inside of another function. There are times where it is inside of a square or it's being squared. Sometimes that it's being cubed. Sometimes it's the square root of something. Sometimes it's the cube root of something. But that would be as far as we go. So those of you that have heard of the quadratic formula, you don't have to worry about it here. Isn't that great? But we're going to learn generally how to take a word problem, quote unquote, or real life situation, as I like to think of them, and apply an expression or equation to it and solve for unknowns. Or take a formula, which is an expression that is set equal to another expression, and substitute values in for unknowns. And once we substitute those values in for them, we can then find other pieces of the formula that are missing. So that will be what we do in algebra. We will solve for unknowns. We will build equations to solve as well. And we may even rearrange some formulas around. The second thing is trigonometry. Trigonometry is the study of triangles and their principles and properties. Now, we won't go fully in depth into trigonometry as it's taught nowadays in most pre-calculus courses. We will deal mostly with the triangle and just the triangle and how to solve for unknowns of it, unknown angles, unknown sides when given certain information. What are the properties that are held by triangles? How do you know the angles of a triangle? How do you know what the sides are? How do you know the relationship between these two things? We'll be looking at that. Lastly, we will be looking at geometry. Geometry would be the study of shapes and figures, their properties and their principles in regards to angles and in regards to sides, as well as area and volume of various shapes. So two-dimensional and three-dimensional. So we'll look at first geometry in regards to quadrilaterals, so four-sided figures. Then general basic principles and properties for angles and sides for polygons in general. Those would just be closed figures. We'll look at circles. We'll look at angles in a circle, angles outside of a circle, segment lengths inside of a circle, outside the circle, on the circle. We'll look at um, other things in regards to three-dimensional shapes. Look at surface area, look at volume, look at if we know the volume, can we find the weight of the object? If we know what it's made out of, knowing the density of it, sure, we can. We'll look at that. And not just your general, like, oh, here's a rectangular prism, here's a cylinder, here's a cone. Oh, this is a rectangle. We'll look at some shapes that I don't know what that is, but it looks like you took one of those and cut it in half and then put it on top of another one. Like, yeah, you'll be able to do that, though. We're just going to take things and keep it very simple in this course, break it apart to something that we know we can do, and then combine them together. And that's all it is. So those are the three things that we're going to be looking at, and they do build upon each other. The algebra helps you solve for unknowns, and the trigonometry, you'll be solving for unknowns. And then in geometry, you'll be solving for unknowns. And sometimes you'll have to know that, oh, I can take any figure and break it up into a triangle. Oh, I know how to do stuff with triangles. Let me do things with that. So yeah, that is GTC 108 in a nutshell, technical mathematics. So at the end of this course, I expect for you to be able to take what you've learned and apply it to tons of real world situations. So get ready to learn and to have so much fun. Do know that this is an 8-week course. It is eight weeks long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That means this is going to go a little faster pace than what you may be used to or what you may even expect, but you can handle it. Take the time to do the course. Generally speaking, you would spend 3 hours in a classroom with this, and you would be expected to spend 6 hours outside with that. So that's 18 hours, right? That's over 16 weeks, so double that. So you'll be expected to spend 36 hours towards this course. You may not have that time, and that's okay. See what parts you need to spend more time with. Some of you may say, oh, I can solve for an unknown all day with algebra. Well, fine. Maybe you'll spend more times with the trigonometry principles. Anyway, we'll talk more about the structure of the course in a future video, but I will leave that with you, and just know that I love math. Math is awesome. Math is simple. Didn't say easy. There is a difference between the two. But it's my goal to keep things simple. When it doesn't seem simple, say something to your instructor or to myself so we can make a change so that it can stay simple. See you soon.